What if not eating for 3 full days didn't weaken your body, but revealed how it actually survives? No snacks. No fast energy. Not even a sip of juice. Only water. And quiet. In a world where food is always within reach, choosing not to eat sounds extreme, even dangerous. But the human body wasn't built for constant eating. It was built for absence. This content is for educational purposes only. Prolonged fasting is not suitable for everyone, and individual responses vary. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before attempting extended fasting. We live in a world where food is constant. Stores on every corner. Drive-thrus glowing late at night. Apps ready to deliver cravings in minutes. Choosing to step away from all of it can feel like punishment. But here's what almost no one says. The human body wasn't designed for non-stop eating. It was built for cycles, times of abundance followed by times of scarcity. And in those pauses, in those silent stretches without food, the body reveals an intelligence modern life has nearly erased. Long before refrigerators and convenience culture, our ancestors often went 1 day, 2 days, or longer without meals. They didn't fail. They adapted. They became sharper. They survived. Their bodies knew how to shift into a deeper state of energy use, mental clarity, and conservation. That same ancient system still lives within you. When you stop eating for 72 hours, that system doesn't shut down. It activates. Your cells change how they communicate. Your brain rearranges its priorities. Your metabolism reveals a version of you that only emerges when food is gone. What comes next isn't starvation. It's transformation. The moment food stops, your body doesn't panic the way most people expect. It does something far more refined. It pauses. Almost as if your biology is listening, waiting to see whether this is a short delay or the start of something more serious. In the first few hours, everything feels ordinary, because it is. You're still fueled by glucose from your last meal, stored as glycogen in your liver and muscles. Think of it as spare energy saved for the next stretch of life. Insulin begins to drift downward, slow and controlled, quietly signaling that easy fuel won't last. Nothing dramatic happens yet. You might notice a familiar stomach growl or reach for food out of habit rather than true hunger. And that's one of the earliest lessons of fasting. Your body isn't asking for food. Your routine is. Deep inside your cells, small changes begin. Enzymes shift. Hormones adjust their patterns. It's subtle, almost silent, but your metabolism is already repositioning itself. For now, everything keeps running smoothly, your energy, your focus, your mood. Just beneath that calm surface, though, something larger is being prepared. Between the 4th and 12th hour of fasting, something curious happens. Nothing appears to change. You can work, drive, think, laugh, scroll, talk, and move through your day almost exactly as you always do. If someone observed you from the outside, they wouldn't notice any change at all. And that's the point. Your body is designed to move through this phase with ease. There's still enough glycogen, your stored glucose, to keep blood sugar steady, fuel your brain, and support every organ without interruption. But beneath that appearance of normality, quiet changes begin to build. Insulin continues its gradual decline, finally allowing your cells to unlock and release stored energy. Ghrelin, the hormone tied to hunger, rises not because you're in trouble, but because your usual eating times have passed. It's a mental echo, a leftover routine written into your day. And like any echo, it fades if you don't answer it. As this early stage continues, your liver steps in as the quiet workhorse, breaking glycogen down piece by piece and releasing glucose into the bloodstream. The process is smooth, controlled, almost graceful. But it isn't unlimited. As the hours move on, your body begins to sense that the familiar fuel supply is shrinking. Slowly, intelligently, and instinctively, it prepares for the moment it must shift to an entirely different energy source. Around the 12-hour mark, the balance you've been coasting on starts to change. Glycogen reserves, once generous, begin to thin. They aren't gone, just noticeably reduced. And your body registers this. Gentle signals move through your system, not with panic, but with evolutionary calculation. A quiet question forms: is this a brief pause, or is food truly unavailable? This is where many people confuse habit with hunger. You pass the kitchen and feel a pull. You catch the smell of food, and your mind reacts before your body does. These aren't emergency warnings. They're conditioned responses. Your brain has spent years expecting food at certain times, and when those moments arrive empty, you feel the absence more than true need. Meanwhile, deeper inside, insulin drops low enough for fat cells to finally loosen their hold. Stored energy isn't just locked away anymore, it's being prepared. Mitochondria begin adjusting their internal chemistry, anticipating a shift to a new fuel. Your body becomes more alert, more strategically aware, as if scanning for cues to decide whether to conserve or adapt. You might notice a dip in energy, a brief mood change, or a moment of mental haze. These aren't danger signals. They're signs of recalibration. The system is changing gears. And once your body commits to the next stage, the shift becomes clear. As you near the 18-hour mark, the fragile sense of normal routine begins to crack. Your glycogen reserve, once a comfortable safety net, is now nearly depleted. Not empty, but low enough for your body to recognize that easy energy is fading. And this moment is the turning point. Biological memory pushes your system toward one of two paths: panic or adapt. And the human body, shaped by millions of years of survival, almost always chooses adaptation. This is where you may feel the first real discomfort: a dull headache, a flicker of irritability, or that quiet voice suggesting, just one snack, just one bite. But those sensations aren't signs of danger. They're the final remnants of a body letting go of its preferred fuel and turning toward deeper reserves it rarely uses. As glucose fades, fat steps forward. Fat cells begin to open, releasing fatty acids into the bloodstream like carefully rationed emergency supplies. Behind the scenes, your liver gets to work, converting those fatty acids into ketones, stable, efficient molecules your brain can use when sugar is scarce. What feels difficult on the surface is actually the activation of a far more efficient energy system within. This is the moment your metabolism stops acting like a modern, sugar-driven engine and returns to its original, resilient design. And once this transition starts, there's no going back. By the time you reach the 24-hour mark, you're standing at the edge of a powerful neurological shift. Ketone production is already underway. Now, for the first time, your brain truly begins to respond. For most of your life, your brain has relied almost entirely on glucose, fast, familiar, predictable. When that supply declines, it doesn't fail. It adapts. The brain begins testing the new fuel entering circulation. Ketones cross the blood-brain barrier with ease, and almost immediately they start reshaping the chemistry of thought. The mental fog that appeared earlier begins to clear. Your mind doesn't feel overstimulated or wired. It feels stable, calm, and unexpectedly quiet. It's as if the background noise inside your head has been turned down, leaving clarity in its place. Inside your neurons, BDNF, a powerful protein tied to learning, memory, and neural protection, begins to rise. This isn't a minor tweak. It's a neurological upgrade. Your brain strengthens connections, repairs small weaknesses, stabilizes mood, and sharpens focus. It's preparing you for endurance, not urgency. At the same time, hunger starts to change its behavior. Instead of hitting like an alarm, it arrives in waves, brief, manageable, and surprisingly easy to ride. When a wave passes, a sense of calm follows. This is the start of metabolic freedom, the realization that your energy no longer depends on constant eating. This phase is quiet and subtle, yet deeply powerful. It's the bridge between who you were at your last meal and who you're becoming as the fast continues. Somewhere between the 30th and 36th hour, something unexpected happens. Hunger, the thing you assumed would grow louder, begins to soften. Not because energy is gone. Not because the body is failing. But because your hormones are finally settling into balance. Ghrelin, the hormone responsible for hunger, works on a rhythm. It rises at familiar mealtimes, then drops if you don't respond. By this stage of the fast, that rhythm starts to dissolve. What once sounded like a demand now feels like a passing thought, noticeable, but not urgent. You're no longer fighting cravings. You're watching them. Inside your body, the transformation runs even deeper. Your liver is now producing ketones at a steady rate, giving your brain a reliable, continuous fuel source. Your mood evens out. The irritability that flared earlier melts into an unusual emotional steadiness. Even your senses begin to sharpen, not in a dramatic way, but just enough that you start noticing details you usually pass by. This phase marks the first true psychological milestone. It's the moment you realize you're not simply avoiding food. You're adjusting. The body's early resistance gives way to cooperation. What once felt like effort starts to feel fluid. And for many people, this is when understanding clicks. The fast isn't becoming more difficult. It's becoming easier. As you move past the 36-hour mark, your body enters a state most people never experience, not because it's unsafe, but because modern life rarely offers enough stillness to access it. This is when autophagy truly switches on. The word sounds technical, almost clinical, but the process itself is elegant. Your cells begin a deep internal cleanup. Not casually. Not gently. But with the precision of a microscopic repair team that has been waiting patiently. Inside each cell, tiny structures scan for damage, misfolded proteins, broken fragments, worn-out mitochondria that no longer function well. These components are flagged, broken down, recycled, and rebuilt into something better. Picture millions of tiny custodians waking up at once, moving through your body, dismantling anything that slows you down. This level of repair simply can't happen while your system is busy digesting food. This is where inflammation begins to fall. Cellular debris is cleared away. Energy systems start running more efficiently. And surprisingly, this is when many people start to feel lighter, not just in the body, but in the mind. Your digestive system is resting. Your bloodstream is clearing. Energy is no longer divided between digestion and cleanup. It's redirected entirely toward repair. This phase explains why fasting is so often discussed in longevity research. Nobel Prize-winning scientist Yoshinori Ohsumi revealed how autophagy supports cellular resilience, slows aging, and protects against diseases driven by damaged cells. And inside your fasted body, that same award-winning process is unfolding right now. Hunger quiets. Mental clarity grows. And as the internal cleanup deepens, your body begins to feel as if it's rebooting from the inside. But what comes next? What activates after the 48-hour mark, may be even more profound. Around this point, your body crosses a threshold modern life almost never allows. This is where one of the most remarkable transformations begins. Your immune system initiates a full reset. Not a temporary boost. Not a quick surge. A true rebuilding process from the ground up. It's triggered by low glucose and sustained ketone levels. Your body recognizes that food still isn't arriving, so it shifts strategy. Old, worn, dysfunctional immune cells, especially those that drive chronic inflammation, are flagged for removal. They're cleared out through the same autophagy pathways already in motion. This isn't punishment. It's precision. Your body retires the cells that can no longer perform. At the same time, deep within your bone marrow, quiet preparation begins. Stem cells, your body's master builders, receive the signal to get ready. Researchers at USC found that extended fasting activates these stem cells, allowing them to produce a fresh supply of white blood cells once eating resumes. In simple terms, your immune system isn't being weakened. It's being renewed. Imagine standing down an overworked, reactive army and training a clean, efficient, fully restored force to replace it. That's what's happening inside you. On the outside, you may feel calm, focused, or steadily energized. But internally, your body is reorganizing, reprioritizing, and strengthening the defenses you'll rely on long into the future. And as you move deeper into the third day, this transformation only intensifies. Once you pass the 48-hour mark and enter the 50 to 60-hour window, something unexpected emerges, a sense of steadiness, a quiet internal balance. Hunger, once sharp and demanding, fades into the background, muted and almost insignificant. Your body is no longer weighing options. It has fully committed to a new energy system. Ketones now flow consistently, not in small pulses, but in smooth, dependable streams. That steady fuel reshapes everything inside you. Your brain runs on energy that doesn't spike or crash. Your stamina evens out. The emotional swings you once felt begin to soften. Your feelings seem buffered, insulated from the constant stress that usually tugs at you. Growth hormone rises sharply here, sometimes reaching levels up to 5 times higher than normal. And instead of breaking muscle down, your body does the opposite. It preserves it. Repairs it. Strengthens it. That's why many people describe this phase not as weakness, but as a surprising sense of inner power. Even cortisol, the stress hormone, starts behaving differently. Rather than surging with cravings or blood sugar drops, it smooths out, creating an unexpected calm. For the first time, fasting feels less like resistance and more like alignment. Your metabolism, hormones, and nervous system begin moving together, as if they've finally agreed on the same goal. Outwardly, nothing looks dramatic. But internally, your body is preparing for the peak transformation that arrives as you move toward hour 60 and beyond. When you cross into the 60th hour, you enter a state that can feel almost unreal, sharp, calm, steady, and intensely focused in a way you may have never experienced. This isn't adrenaline. It isn't stimulants. It's biology. You're stepping into what researchers often call hunter mode, the state humans relied on long before modern comfort existed. With glucose long depleted and ketones at their highest levels yet, your brain begins operating like a high-performance system. The fog disappears. The noise fades. What's left is clarity, clean, cool, unmistakable clarity. Thoughts move faster but feel smoother, almost effortless. Problem-solving sharpens. Decisions feel more precise. Even emotional reactions stabilize, as if someone quietly turned down the intensity dial inside your mind. BDNF continues to rise, strengthening neural connections and protecting your brain from oxidative stress. This isn't just a mental change. It's a structural one. Your brain is rewiring itself for efficiency, not urgency. And unlike the jittery lift from sugar or caffeine, this clarity is grounded and stable. It lasts. There's a reason our ancestors could track prey for hours, plan without food, and survive long stretches of scarcity. Their bodies weren't breaking down. They were optimizing. And in this window, your body taps into that same ancient intelligence. Your senses feel slightly sharper. Your awareness expands. The world feels more defined. This phase delivers a quiet reminder. You're not just capable of functioning without food. You're capable of functioning better. And as you approach the 70-hour mark, your body prepares to enter its deepest, most balanced state yet. Near hour 70, a remarkable sense of equilibrium settles in, so profound it almost feels unreal. Your body is no longer adapting, shifting, or debating. It has fully settled into the fast. Every major system, metabolism, hormones, immune function, now moves together in quiet harmony. This is a state most people never experience, not because it's unattainable, but because modern life rarely offers the stillness required to reach it. Ketones flow smoothly and consistently, fueling your brain and muscles like a finely tuned engine. Inflammation continues to decline. Digestion rests completely, almost meditative in its calm. Your gut lining, which almost never gets true downtime, begins repairing microscopic damage. And your microbiome, the trillions of bacteria that shape mood, immunity, and even weight, shifts toward a healthier balance. Inside your cells, order replaces disorder. Autophagy continues its work, clearing away the final remnants of damaged material. Growth hormone remains elevated, poised to rebuild once nourishment returns. Cortisol settles. And your mind feels unexpectedly peaceful, as if body and brain are finally moving in the same rhythm. Nothing outward looks dramatic, but internally this is a symphony of renewal, quiet, organized, deliberate. You're not merely enduring life without food. You're operating in a mode your body was designed to reach, but rarely does. When you finally choose to end your 72-hour fast, the moment feels almost ceremonial, not intense, but significant. Your body has just completed one of the deepest biological resets it can achieve. After 3 days of silence, your digestive system wakes slowly and carefully, like a powerful machine warming up after a long shutdown. That's why the first bite matters more than most people realize. If you overwhelm your stomach with heavy, greasy, or ultra-processed foods, you shock the very system you spent 72 hours repairing. Your newly restored gut lining isn't ready for impact. Insulin sensitivity, now at its peak, can spike too sharply, and the calm clarity you built can disappear within minutes. But if you return to food gently and intentionally, your body responds with precision. Warm broth. Steamed vegetables. A soft boiled egg. A few slices of avocado. Simple, nutrient-rich foods that are easy to digest. As they enter your system, digestive enzymes begin to awaken. Insulin rises in a smooth, controlled curve. Cells open their doors, ready to absorb what they've been waiting for. Deep in your bone marrow, stem cells activated earlier start maturing into new immune cells. Muscle tissue begins subtle repair. Your microbiome reshapes itself around the first nutrients it receives. Even your senses feel heightened. Taste, smell, focus, as if someone polished the inside of your world. Ending a 72-hour fast isn't just eating again. It's reintroducing life into a body renewed from the inside out. And that first meal becomes the link between who you were before this experience and who you are afterward. After 72 hours, one truth stands out more clearly than anything else along the way. The most unexpected part of fasting isn't what your body does. It's what you learn about yourself. You discover that hunger isn't an emergency. That discomfort isn't a danger signal. You learn that discipline can unlock a level of clarity no shortcut can provide. You realize your body isn't weak, desperate, or dependent on constant eating. It's resilient, adaptable, remarkably intelligent, and far more capable than you ever believed. Fasting reshapes your relationship with food, cravings, and the habit of soothing every emotion with something to eat. But beyond that, it transforms how you see your own limits. You realize the line you thought you couldn't cross was never real. It was simply a belief you hadn't tested yet. And if these 72 hours opened your eyes, then what happens in the first 24 may surprise you even more. That's where change begins, much earlier than most people expect, the moment your body first shifts, first adapts, and first reveals its hidden systems. So if you're ready to see how the journey truly starts, the next step is simple. Watch the video on the 24-hour fast. Because once you understand what your body can do in just one day, you'll never see hunger, or your own potential, the same way again.